Hey everyone, good morning and welcome to our Lake Point Junior High online family experience. My name is Pastor Ethan and I am so excited that you are participating online today. It's Thanksgiving weekend and I hope that you're able to celebrate and give thanks with your family. And so today we're going to kick off our family interactive experience Thanksgiving style. I want to share with you some amazing Thanksgiving memes. So get ready to giggle. I trust you enjoyed those as much as I enjoyed searching for them. I love Thanksgiving. I love all the Thanksgiving meals. Turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, stuffing, cranberries, rolls, corn, pumpkin pie. I'm hungry just thinking about it. But Thanksgiving meals shouldn't be the only thing we're thankful for. There is so much to celebrate this weekend, and I hope you take the time to do that together as a family. Also, something else we can celebrate today, for those of you who just started grade 8 this fall, congrats. You have made it to your very last year of elementary school. Enjoy one final year before you head off to high school. And because this year is your grade 8 year, I want to personally invite you to join us in person at Lake Point Youth on Friday nights. You've got this entire school year to come out and give it a try with your friends as you transition out of junior high and into Lake Point Youth. Parents, I'd love to talk more about what this could look like for your grade 8 student. And so on the screen is my cell number. Feel free to reach out anytime. All right, let me tell you what you can expect for today's family interactive experience. You're about to experience some friendly family competition. We're gonna start a brand new series called Trending, and then we're gonna end today with some family discussion. Now, before we get into all of that amazingness, I would love if you would take the next 60 seconds to fill out our online connection card. You can find it right on the main page of the Lake Point app, and what I love about the connection card is it serves as Lake Point's guest book. And so whether you're watching for the first time today or you've watched a ton of times, we would love for you to sign our guest book this morning. It's also a great way for us to stay connected, and it provides you with an opportunity to sign up and see our current and upcoming campaigns and initiatives here at the church. So let's take the next 60 seconds and fill out the form together.
In 3, 2, 1.
Thanks for completing the connection card and signing our guest book. Now, as we dive into our family interactive experience today, let me ask you a question. How many pounds of turkey are you going to eat this weekend? 1 pound? 5 pounds? 50 pounds? 100 pounds of turkey? I'm just going to assume that we are just going to eat a ton of turkey. And with that in mind, let's get to our weekly competition. about to see who is the most creative, imaginative, and artistic person in your family. For today's competition, you're going to create a turkey with regular household items. Maybe you want to use some popsicle sticks and hot glue. Maybe you're going to use a rubber glove or trace your hand onto a piece of paper. Maybe you're going to find an old feather pillow and cover a balloon in feathers. You can use your imagination and use whatever you can find around the house to create your very own turkey. Just make sure you don't make it too realistic and accidentally eat it. Because I'm gonna guess that it wouldn't taste that good. Unless you make it out of real turkey, then that would be delicious. Now, once you've created your turkey, take a photo of it and post it in our Lake Point Junior High Facebook group for the chance to win a prize. The prize this week is a Tim Hortons gift card for students, and for parents, we've got an incredible resource that I found super helpful. So go and create your turkey, post it in our Facebook group, and then jump back to the video as we move into our teaching series titled Trending. We are in a brand new 2-week series called Trending, and this is a series where we take a look at relevant and current issues that we might be dealing with. This week, we're gonna take a look at something that all of us have been a part of and probably do on the daily, and that is arguing. No matter who you are, where you live, what kind of personality you have probably experienced what it feels like to be in an argument. I mean, growing up, I would argue until either my point was made or the other person was just so tired of hearing me that they just didn't care anymore. You see, I grew up with an older and a younger brother, and between the three of us, we would argue over things like whose turn it was to sit in the front seat of the car, or whose responsibility it was that week to take out the garbage or do the dishes. We would argue over who ate the last piece of pie, whose turn it was to do the laundry, who drove the car last and left it with an empty tank of gas. I mean, between the three of us, we were pretty good at arguing. And so whether you're a person who loves to argue or maybe you shy away from arguments, we all have one goal when it comes to conflict. We just want to win. But today, we're gonna take a look at a fresh and new perspective about how we argue. We're gonna discover that we should actually care more about the person we're arguing with than the point we're trying to make. Let's learn more about this idea together. And so check out week 1 of our series titled Trending.
Fun fact, almost an entire hour of every day is spent doing one thing with our families, arguing. Research shows that we average around 6 arguments a day with our family members. That's an average of 42 arguments a week. But it doesn't stop there. We argue about 180 times with our families a month. That's over 2,000 arguments a year. Talk about a lot of arguing. If you're anything like me, you find yourself arguing with other people or listening to other people argue or getting caught up in arguments you don't want to be in. A lot. People argue over sports and politics and family stuff and friendship drama and what's ultimately the best Billie Eilish song and if LeBron is really the greatest of all time. You might feel like you spend a ton of your conversations with other people just arguing. Seriously. Stop and think about the last argument you got into or witnessed with someone else. Was it this week? This morning? 5 minutes before you walked in the door today? What was it about? Something really big and important or something pointless? Either way, I know how you feel because honestly, I've been there more times than I can count. I was 12 years old. Me and my brother were racing to the car obviously to see who was gonna get the front seat. Not only was I beating him, I tripped while I was running, still beat him to the front seat, and do you know he not only shoved me out of the way, we were literally fighting over the handle of the car, and he slammed my fingers in the door. And guess who got the front seat still? He did. Do you know that we argued the entire time with me screaming and crying in the back seat with swollen fingers? Okay, why am I telling you all this? Well, whether you realize it or not, arguments happen all around us. They happen a lot with all kinds of different people over all kinds of different things. And honestly, it will probably be this way for the rest of your life. I mean, all you have to do is glance at social media to see people arguing over things like politics and religion to know that that's true. Arguments are everywhere you look. And I think most of us probably feel like arguments are bad. I mean, conflicts usually don't make you feel great, and they can be really difficult and uncomfortable to have. In fact, I think most of us try to avoid arguing if we can, right? I know I do. We may have strong opinions about things, but we don't argue about them because we want to fit in and not stand out. We don't want to offend someone or make someone upset. But here's the thing. I've learned not all arguments are bad. Arguing can actually be good if it's done in a way that's healthy and respectful. That's why I think it's an important subject to talk about. Because if we don't learn how to argue in a healthy way, the quality of our relationships with our friends or family members or teammates or people in our small groups, pretty much everybody we come in contact with, it's on the line. You see, conflict is a part of life. And that's because relationships are a part of life. Whether it's a friend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, classmate, a parent, sibling, coach, someone in your small group, or a random person on social media, at some point, you're gonna experience conflict. In other words, you're gonna argue. And that could be challenging for a lot of reasons. For starters, feelings are usually involved. People don't usually argue about something they don't care about. Think about it. When you argue with your parents over your grades, it's because your parents care about the grades you get. When you argue with your best friend about the lie they told you, it's because you care that your friends are honest. When you see adults arguing about things like who should be the next president, it's because they care about choosing the best person for the job. A lot of times we argue simply because we care a lot about what we're arguing about. Or we care about who we're arguing with. You don't want to see your friend make a bad choice. You don't want your girlfriend to break up with you. You don't want your older sibling to talk to you that way. So you argue, not because you want to, but because you care that much about the other person. And when you argue, your feelings get hurt. Someone says something harsh or rude or deeply hurtful in the heat of an argument, and well, those things are hard to come back from. So what do? Well, sometimes we avoid the person altogether. That's what I do. We don't talk to them. We ghost them. We completely disappear. We hope that eventually the hurt feelings or those reasons why we argued will disappear too. Or maybe we do talk about it, just not to them. Instead of talking to the person we've argued with, we talk to everyone else. But that can't really get us anywhere closer to solving the issue, can it? I think one of the biggest reasons arguments can be challenging to navigate is this. The other person thinks differently than we do. Maybe you've argued with a friend who thought using certain words was okay, but you 100% believe those words were hurtful. Or maybe you've argued with a teammate because they had a totally different strategy on how to win the game. Maybe you've seen people argue in the comment section of Instagram because they had totally opposite views from one another. Regardless of who is arguing, usually this is what happens. Instead of listening to what someone else has to say, or talking to them calmly about their viewpoint, or even ignoring it altogether, we jump right into an argument. Why? Because honestly, we can't understand how they could think differently than we do. So what do? We spend our energy trying to convince them that we're right. After all, isn't that the whole point of an argument? To prove your point? To get the other person to come to your side? To win? To be right? See, I think the biggest problem we have when it comes to the way we navigate arguments is that we feel like there has to be a winner and a loser. And I don't know about you, but I definitely don't like to lose. That's the mindset a lot of us have when it comes to arguments. We want to win. We want to be right. And it doesn't matter what we have to say or do to make sure at the end of it, we come out on top. But what if that's the problem holding us back? What if arguing to win isn't really a win at all? And what if trying to be right isn't actually right? Remember what I said earlier? Conflict happens. No matter how hard we may try to avoid it or distance ourselves from it, at some point, we're gonna find ourselves in an argument with someone or being argued with. And because that's the case, I think it's important that we learn a better way to handle it, a way that allows us to aim for more than just being right. Today, we're gonna look at something Jesus' half-brother James wrote down. James was writing a letter to a group of Christians in the early church, and there's some wisdom that's an absolute game changer when it comes to how we can handle arguments. Check it out. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Notice what James is saying. This is advice for everyone, not just the people I agree with, and not just the people who think they're right, and not just the people with the biggest tempers or the most passionate voices. This is for all of us. Now, because James wrote this letter to people who were following Jesus, I think the instruction is even more powerful. The message is for everyone, but it's especially important for those of us who believe in Jesus. As followers of Jesus, this is how we're supposed to communicate to other people. This is how we're supposed to argue. So what did James say we're supposed to do? First, he told us to be quick to listen. In other words, when you find yourself in an argument, listen first. Do your best to hold off from speaking until you've actually made an effort to listen, to hear what the other person is saying. I think just applying this first piece of wisdom alone could solve a lot of our disagreements, don't you? So often, the reason our arguments get so heated or go on for so long is because we don't make an effort to listen to the other person, or we don't feel like they're listening to us. James followed that by telling us to be slow to speak. Now, for some of us, this is particularly difficult. We want to speak what's on our minds all the time, but especially in an argument, the thought of not saying what we think or feel, that's just crazy. But remember, slow to speak doesn't mean saying no to speak. It doesn't mean that we just sit back and take it. James wasn't asking us not to defend ourselves or our points of view. Instead, he's asking us to pause before we do, to stop before we talk, to think before we speak. I don't know about you, but in my experience of most of the things I've regretted in arguments are things I've said without thinking about them first. Taking a minute to pause, choosing to be slow to speak, that could be the answer to a lot. If James were writing this letter today, to me or to you, he might also include be slow to text, slow to post, slow to comment, slow to talk behind someone's back. I'm not sure which is hardest for you, but I think we all probably need to pause and think about it before we actually do it. All of this really adds up to the final thing James wrote here. Be slow to become angry. This is a total shift in the way we approach arguments. After all, aren't we usually arguing because we're angry? James wasn't asking us not to be angry. He wasn't asking us to ignore our feelings, but he was asking us to lead with another feeling, love. Choosing to be slow to become angry means choosing love when we want to hate. It means focusing on the person, not the point we're trying to make. It means valuing the relationship more than being right. What I've learned is, care more about the person you're arguing with than the point you're trying to make. Arguing happens. It's a part of life. But how it turns out really depends on how we choose to handle it. So the next time you find yourself in a position to argue, I want to challenge you to care more about the person you're arguing with than the point you're trying to make. I mean, think about it. What would it look like for you to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry? I think if we all do this, we'll find that the way we argue and the way we feel will both change for the better. Of course, I know this isn't always easy, so let me share a few things that might be helpful. First, memorize this verse. Really commit James 1:19 to memory. Trust me, it's that important. You want this to be in your brain ready to go the next time you find yourself about to argue. When you memorize it, you'll think of the verse first. It'll be a reminder of how you can handle your argument well. Next, apply it to someone. Think about the person in your world who needs you to actually follow James's instructions. Who do you find yourself tempted to argue with often? Someone in your family? A friend? A kid on your team? In your mind, put their face next to this verse. That way, when you think of that person, you'll also think of James's words on how you can better approach them. Lastly, Put yourself in their shoes. This one is tough, I know, but I want to challenge you to see more in that person than just your differences, your argument, and your stance. I want you to try to see and understand their side. This is part of being quick to listen. It's part of being quick to understand another person's point of view. Jesus could have won every argument ever, but he still talked to people. He still made time to listen to people. He still made an effort to hear their perspectives. And putting yourself in someone else's shoes will help you do the same. At least it does for me. It doesn't mean you'll always agree with what they think, but it does mean you'll try to understand why they think that. It means you'll try to understand them. Remember, care more about the person you're arguing with than the point you're trying to make. And that's exactly what we're going to keep talking about in groups today. Keep in mind, not everyone in your group has the exact same view on things that you do, and that's okay. Talking with people can actually help you understand other ways of thinking. Now, as you head out, I want you to think about this question. When I argue, do I argue to win or to understand? Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll see you soon.
Arguments happen. It's part of life. And it's okay to disagree with people and work through that conflict. But how the conversation turns out really depends on how we choose to handle it. We have to care more about the person we're arguing with than the point we're trying to make. We have to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. And that's it. That's all you really have to do. Sounds incredibly easy, right? Wrong. There's absolutely 0% about this concept that's easy. But as we learned in today's video, we can do a few things to help make it a little easier. We can memorize James chapter 1, verse 19. We can get this locked and loaded into our minds, ready to go for the next time we find ourselves about to argue. It's going to help us remember to argue well. We can apply what we've learned today to someone. So we're going to think about a person who we often argue with. And so maybe that's a sibling, a parent, someone at school, maybe even a teacher. And when we think about this person, we're going to repeat James 1:19. When we think about this person, we're going to immediately be reminded to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and to be slow to become angry. And finally, we can put ourselves in their shoes. We can try and see things from their side. We can listen to their story, even if we don't agree or ever agree with them. You see, you'll be able to at least understand why they think the way they do. Remember, care more about the person you're arguing with than the point you're trying to make. So, when you argue, do you argue to win or do you argue to understand? Let's talk about it today during our discussion time. Parents, this is where we're going to turn things over to you. In a moment, you'll see some questions on your screen, and so grab the remote and press pause for as long as you need to create meaningful discussion questions. Remember, these questions are just a guide, so feel free to rephrase them in a way that engages your student best. Thanks for a great week at junior high, everyone. Remember to post in our junior high Facebook group your photo of your family participating today for the chance to win some prizes. If you aren't on Facebook, you can just email me at ethan@lakepoint.church and I'll make sure you get added into the draw. Now, to close our time this morning, take the next 2 minutes to pray together as a family, and then head to the Lake Point app to access our weekday devotionals that go along with our series. You'll find those in the Family Resources section right on the main page of the app. Have a wonderful week, friends. We will see you next week.